Hi, welcome to the Shabby and M podcast.
We're partners, parents, podcasters, broadcasters,
and everything else in between.
Now, today's episode seems rather strange and special in its own way because it's the first podcast we're recording while I'm on I'm going to use the S word that you do not like too much, sabbatical. I said it.
I find the word sabbatical very long. Why don't you say I'm on a break? I'm on chutti.
Yeah, mini break. And have you noticed how, we've been discussing this for a long time, so we knew when the sabbatical was happening, but I made it public 2 weeks ago. And I've had a lot of queries from family and friends all around the world. Everybody seems to think that the sabbatical is not something most people go on. And so...
First of all, to go on a break...
Yeah.
is a matter of great privilege. Most people can't. You can't just leave whatever you're doing and just go on a sabbatical.
I do agree, because everybody has bills to pay. We all have to earn our living, not just for ourselves, but our families. We have to support all of that.
So this sabbatical can't be too long.
Can't be too long. So I do admit, you're absolutely right. I acknowledge that I am in a place of privilege to be able to take a little bit of time off. And I'll tell you what brought it on. I'm sure a lot of people would like to know, because privately people have been messaging me saying that, first and foremost, everybody thinks about health, especially in the COVID climate that we've just been through. That is everything okay with you? Is everything okay at home? So by God's grace, touching wood here, on the health front, everything is fine. And even professionally, what's happened? Normally I think people are either asked to leave or they leave in a huff. And in my case, it's neither of those two cases. I just felt that, I had a bit of fatigue doing what I was doing.
Is it like same old, same old?
It is same old, same old. And it's not the first time that I've been hit by that fatigue. Every couple of years, I feel that I need to take a break and just, refresh myself and come back with a clean slate.
And what about that whole list of things we've got, of other things to do?
Yeah, that's true as well. And
this is the best time to...
This is the best time. I think for the longest time, I have used that excuse, at least to myself, if not to the world, of having far too much on my plate in terms of doing a radio show, preparing for a radio show, going for these premieres, going for interviews. It takes up a lot of my time. And because...
A lot of your time. We hardly ever see you.
Okay, more than a lot of my time. Virtually all day. And so I've always told myself, at least, that if I had more time, I'm sure I could have actually seriously sat down and put that second book together, or do a book on food or on films. I conduct food walks as well, do more of those, maybe have, master classes or themed events at places where people tell me that, you're a good storyteller, you should put two and two together and, come up with something special. And for the longest time, I've told myself that I've not pursued them seriously, because I've had far too much on my plate. So the only way to gauge whether there is any dum in any of those ideas was to actually take a mini break. And
you know why I'm sitting so quietly here?
Why?
Because I thought you're going to mention, I thought ab bolegi.
Yeah.
That, we're going to do more podcasts, we'll do a couple of these and those.
एक ही podcast बहुत है, लेकिन yes, we would like to see.
It didn't even kind of touch your radar.
No, it did not. Because again, like broadcasting, this feels like just another version of my radio show, only with you co-hosting it. So it is...
sorry, am I including?
No, that's fine. But I think, podcasting as well, because that is the way the world is moving, right? That's the new... already in America, increasingly in India, UK, elsewhere in the world. This is the way people like to listen to their audio content, right? On demand. So that's why I felt, and personally I think it fitted in with our scheme of things. We've got two kids who are not little kids anymore. We've got a 14 and a 16 and a half year old. This is a summer where, because India is on the red list, because travel to most parts of the world comes with quarantine and God knows what else.
Well, it's like last summer.
It is like last summer.
We'll be sitting at home.
We'll be sitting at home, so this would be a good time to spend...
Though from next week in England, things are really opening up.
How do you feel about that, by the way? In about 2 weeks' time, right?
I think... about 2 weeks.
Yeah, exactly 2 weeks' time, I think.
I'm trying to work out how many days are left. You're right, it's about 2 weeks.
Monday the 19th of July.
Yeah.
So how do you feel about that?
I think I'm still going to wear a mask.
I feel so too. And I think public...
Especially on public transport.
Yeah.
And, if you're on a packed tube.
I think public opinion is divided on this because a lot of people are saying that it's time we got back our freedom and lived life the way we wanted to, because now most of us are double jabbed, most adults are. And then there is one...
Of course, some people are very happy because the economy will, in theory, prosper again.
Yeah.
But I'm sure it's going to put a lot of people off now that we've got used to staying at home, getting takeaways, sitting in front of the TV,
That's what people are saying,
not going to cinemas, not going to restaurants. I'm quite happy with it.
Yeah, people are not going to return to the old normal anytime soon, because not everything about the lockdown, I say lockdown, not everything about life with certain restrictions was bad. And I think a lot of us have come to accept that, we've become more cautious, we've become more careful, and we've all discovered hidden strengths, new ways of doing things.
And only this morning I was reading that they're expecting a third wave in India, maybe a third wave in England as well. So,
but I think the statistic...
You still have to be cautious.
But the statistic that is driving public policy all over the world is...
COVID is increasing, but the deaths are decreasing.
Is taking some comfort in the fact that even though people are getting COVID, there are far fewer people who are dying from it or needing hospitalization for it, because they're saying that COVID is going to be a part of our lives.
But there's another theory that we might have to have a booster jab in the winter.
Funny you should say that. I got an email, not from my GP, but from one of the pharmacies that I must have subscribed to at some point in my life, saying that this is the time for you to book your flu jab as well. And I thought, we're still about 3 months away from flu jab weather, right? But I don't know whether it's people being extra cautious this year because we've been through a pandemic, or because I don't know. But so the world coming out of UK coming out of lockdown properly, fully in 2 weeks' time, coinciding with my sabbatical is great for me. But
I got an email as well, by the way,
saying,
well, there's this Nigerian prince who has got like $20 million and he wants to deposit it in my account.
Oh, have you given him your details?
Not yet.
Not yet. Okay. There is something that I want to talk about. One more aspect that I want to talk about while we're still on sabbaticals and mini breaks. Only because a lot of people highlighted this when COVID-19 struck, and a lot of people were completely isolated from the rest of the world. They weren't able to use technology as well as some other people did, and they felt that they'd been abandoned. They felt that it really took a toll on their mental health, on their emotional well-being. I feel that when we talk about a sabbatical, we already said that it comes from a place of privilege if you can afford to take some time off. But if you can, I strongly recommend it to anyone and everyone, really. Why wait to get to that stage where you feel that you're on the edge of a cliff and you will have a meltdown or a breakdown because you're so overwhelmed?
Because there's the other side as well. There's always that FOMO kind of thing, that fear of missing out, that if you take a break, God knows what opportunities you'll miss.
But I think
take your place. What will happen?
Say that for me, and I can say that for the two of us. Yeah, I think that is something that the two of us do not suffer from, because we are anyway happily live in our own bubble most of the time, even before the lockdown happened. But you're right. Maybe that is one of the things, one of the anxieties that people
which
feel,
is natural.
Which is natural. But I feel that it can only benefit your career, it can only benefit your health, it can only benefit all aspects of your life if you can afford to take a little bit of time off and detach yourself from the routine and just take the time to enjoy the small pleasures, and take comfort in the little things that give you joy.
So it's basically taking time off for your personal
space,
your professional space,
and
the big question is also for mental health,
to boost your sense of well-being. And for the longest time, I think when people talk about mental health and well-being, we traditionally, human beings, are made to feel as though they are selfish or they're doing something wrong if they think of themselves. If you feel that, oh my God, I feel that I need a bit of time off, or I need to get off the rat race and step off the treadmill and take it a little easy, how will that come across? People might think of me as weak, people might think of me as selfish. That's not the case at all.
Like burnout.
It's burnout. I've had so many people come up to me and say that, oh my God, we feel that when I say to them that I've got a bit of broadcasting fatigue, they say, oh my God, you are at the top of your game. You could have anything for the asking. Why would you want to suddenly disconnect and leave now? And the natural assumption is that it is for something bigger and better. And while, of course, I want to, whatever else I choose to embrace alongside broadcasting, I want it to be as successful as anything else that I've done. But at the same time, it doesn't have to be for something, for own career-driven reasons only. It could be because you feel that you need to just declutter your mind for a bit. And so I'm hugely excited about.
They say sometimes, I'm quoting Disney here, but sometimes you just have to let it go.
Yeah. So the timing is just right for me personally. It works for us as a family. It works for me personally. I can't wait to not just see what the sabbatical brings, because already first day into the sabbatical we're thinking about, oh my God, I'm not used to being at home at this time. You are used to having your own routine of work and life and being with the kids in the morning that I've not been for six years. So already we are kind of trying to slot in new routines, but I think you can't do that in one day. Yeah,
we're all suffering.
Yeah, I mean. Well, that's one way of looking at it. Speak for yourself is what I should say. Let's talk about. Are we talking about things that we've seen in the last couple of days, or?
Well, first of all, did you mention that it was your birthday yesterday?
Yeah, it was my birthday yesterday. So the first day of my sabbatical was also my birthday.
Her birthday happened to be on a Monday, so we had a kind of a Saturday, Sunday, Monday kind of birthday
celebration. Yeah, which was fantastic, and it's just it's not that it was a landmark birthday or anything, but I think every birthday comes as a reminder of looking at your to-do list, looking at your wish list one more time, and seeing how far you've gotten, because every year when you look at that checklist, it changes, and especially after 2020.
I was going to say, in these times, I think every birthday you have is a blessing.
Is a blessing, and you realize that so many things of visiting such and such place, doing this fanciful thing, is now lower down the list. Having the pleasure and having the blessing of your family and friends around, that becomes like the biggest thing.
But this is again another year you've not been able to go back to visit your parents.
Yeah.
So it's what, 2-3 years now?
This September it'll be 2 years. It'll be 2 years this September. So that of course is my topmost priority. As soon as India comes off the red list and we're able to travel again, I would love to go and see my mum and dad, sister, brother-in-law, family and friends in India. So yeah, I mean,
we were thinking, what have you done in the last 2-3 weeks? We saw a couple of movies.
I've got a big pile of books that I've got from you, from other friends that I tend to read during the sabbatical. That's another thing that I intend to do.
That book, by the way, is your birthday present. You know that?
Oh, all right. Yeah, I knew that. What did we watch? What did we been watching? We saw one story in the Ray anthology.
Bring that book here. Let me write something on it so you don't palm it off to someone else.
Oh, okay, you can write something.
Dear Shabby, happy birthday.
Yes. Put the date on as well. Or would you not like to do it so that next year you can put next year's date?
That's good.
If need be. So anything interesting that we've seen in the last couple of days since we last did a podcast that we'd like to talk about? The Ray anthology. Let's talk about the Ray anthology.
We've only seen one.
We've seen one because...
so how can we talk about it?
We were a little short of time.
The one we saw we liked.
Yeah. Hangama Hai Kyun Barpa.
Yeah, it was... it was the one about shoplifting.
Yeah.
I was trying to remember what it was.
That's
not shoplifting.
Not shoplifting. Schizophrenia? Kleptomania. Kleptomania, of course, I'm saying schizophrenia. It's explained so beautifully that kleptomania. Mania. Kleptomania.
And we saw that movie which I thought was terrible.
Haseen Dilruba.
Haseen Dilruba.
Why can't you ever remember the title?
Oh, it's that song. Haseen Dilruba.
That is the second line. Javani Janiwan. That's right. So, while we're not into spoilers, I think the whole world by now knows that it is based on a famous Roald Dahl short story.
Don't tell them which one in case they haven't seen it.
Yeah.
There's one very famous one.
I feel that this is where Bollywood falls down each time.
Have you seen Tales of the Unexpected? Have you seen that episode?
No.
Okay.
Is it part of that?
Yeah.
It's part of that. Is it an anthology?
It's from his book, Tales of the Unexpected. It's one of the stories in it.
This is where I feel sad for Bollywood. That if you are brave enough to pick a story like the one they have for Haseen Dilruba, which is very offbeat, a million miles away from conventional Bollywood, then at least stick to it and honor the essence of the story.
It started off really well.
It started off, that's what I said, it started off on a promising note, but at the end, halfway through the story, they had a change of heart and they said, oh my God, if we stick to the original story, people are going to hate it. So let's just put in some elements of Bollywood in it, which was terrible.
In a nutshell, if let me just describe it for you, that Fast and Furious 9, where the cars go into space, is probably more believable.
Yeah, well, there you go.
Than the ending of this movie.
Yeah. So it's that's what makes me angry, that if you've picked something so exciting and you've had the guts to pick it, then why would you not go through with it and do a good adaptation? You know? Why would you suddenly marinate it in all flavors Bollywood right in the last half an hour of the film?
I see what you've done there, marinated.
Yes.
I think Enme maar khage.
They
weren't sure how to end it.
Yeah, but I thought that it started, exactly as you're saying, it started out on a very promising note. You know, it started out very different from your run-of-the-mill Bollywood films.
And I like Taapsee Pannu.
Taapsee Pannu is a good actress, and so is Vikrant Massey. And I think it is the time for all these B-list actors and actresses, as they're called. Very unkindly, I feel. Only because they don't have the same box office clout as the rest of them, but not because they're any less talented.
Things are changing.
They are changing. I think it's their time to shine. And these are the guys who are taking the creative risks and doing all the good stuff on digital.
I was going to say, digital has
made it a level playing field.
Usurped Bollywood right now.
Yeah.
Far more exciting.
Yeah, and I think that some of the big stars, some of the big Khans are struggling to do something that, gives them all the box office credit that they've always taken for granted, as well as critical acclaim. I don't think any of the three Khans have had that for a while, barring Amir maybe.
That reminds me that today or yesterday, Karan Johar announced a new movie.
Yeah.
Do you remember what it's called?
No.
It was something ki Prem Kahani. I forgot the name.
Alia and Ranveer ki Prem Kahani, whatever their character screen names are.
Yeah, Pinky and something ki Prem Kahani.
Yeah.
But the big reveal is that Dharmender, Jaya Bachchan and I think Shabana Azmi will also be in that movie.
God help us.
But then, I don't know if I like Karan Johar movies anymore.
Yeah, same here. Unless he's doing something very different, I would have my doubts. I hope he doesn't spoil the image that Ranveer and Alia have from Gully Boy, a fantastic film like Gully Boy. I hope he doesn't completely ruin it. But I would still give him a chance, because I think he's an intelligent filmmaker. He's made good commercial blockbusters. So I'd give him a chance, but I wouldn't hold my breath for it being something totally different and exciting.
Yeah, when we started this podcast, I really didn't think that we're going to mention Bollywood. It seems like,
and now we end up mentioning Bollywood quite a lot. All right, in that case, let's end on football. That's another thing that this country is absolutely fascinated by right now, crazy about, because it's been, since 1966 the nation hasn't had an occasion to celebrate.
Now, while we record this, we are going to be playing the quarterfinals tomorrow.
Yeah. So we have no idea which way it's going, but England stands a strong chance.
Hopefully we'll beat Denmark tomorrow, and we'll be in the finals against the winners of tonight, which is either Italy or Spain.
Yes.
So that'll be exciting.
Yeah, I think everybody's waiting for a national...
It's all happening in Wembley.
A celebration. The country is waiting to celebrate something after the last 15 months we've had. And football is just one of those things that brings people together. And
you know the song, the famous song, "Football is Coming Home"?
Yeah. Oh, please.
If you hear the lyrics,
there's not one person who hasn't done their rendition of "Football is Coming Home."
No, but if you hear the lyrics of that song, it says 30 years of hurt. So you can tell how old that song is, because there's actually 54 years of hurt now. That song is 24 years old.
Yeah. So you're saying that for 54 years England hasn't won any major title, because 54 years ago it was the World Cup, right? This is not the World Cup, this is the Euros. So 54 years you've had nothing to celebrate on the...
Well, we take small victories. In the last World Cup we reached a semi-final. We'll hopefully reach the semi-final. Well, sorry, we have reached the semi-final. We'll hopefully reach the finals.
The final. So the next podcast we record, we'll know whether we've had a massive national celebration and each member of that squad has been given a knighthood, probably will be in the Queen's Honours list.
I think it will be Sir Gareth Southgate soon, the manager. Now, as you're so Vela like me.
Yeah. Oh, please, a sabbatical. Being on a sabbatical is not like being Vela.
Maybe we can do a podcast once a week or once a day.
Dream on.
Because I'm just pressing record on my phone. That's it.
Dream on, Manish Sahi.
Shall I say bye-bye then?
I think so.
Do you want to say all the usual, yahan subscribe karo, thank you very much.
2 साल बाद भी बोलना पड़ेगा ये सब.
I forgot it. That's why I'm asking you to say.
Yeah, we're on Google Podcasts, we're on Spotify, we're on Apple, we're on Podbean, and all the usual places. And thank you so much. Once in a while when we do look at the stats, because, it always fills us with a lot of gratitude for the amount of people who listen to us and give us their precious time. Thank you so much. It means a lot to us. If it weren't for your downloads and your listens, we probably would have stopped ages ago.
Ji haan, dosto. Whatever your favorite app is, please do download us.
All right. Until next time then.
Bye-bye now.